Let's talk about something we all do every single day. Consume stories. Whether it's the nightly news, reality TV, or just scrolling through our feeds, we tend to think of it as just entertainment, right? But what if it's more than that? What if it's actually scripting our reality? We're going to dive deep into that idea.
So, just ask yourself this. When you turn on the news or open up social media, what's the vibe you get? Is it a feeling of, peace and safety? Or is it more like a constant barrage of threat and chaos? That little knot in your stomach, that nagging feeling that things are just getting worse and worse, well, that feeling has a name.
Yep, it's called Mean World Syndrome. It's that grand canyon of a gap between the world as it actually is and the world as it's shown to us on a screen. And here's the thing, this isn't just some random mood, it's a carefully cultivated perception. And we're about to meet the guy who literally wrote the book on it.
So let's meet George Gerber. He was a media scholar, and back in the golden age of television, he came forward with this pretty radical idea. He basically said, hey everyone, TV isn't just reflecting our culture, it's actively programming it.
And for Gibner, this wasn't just some clever line. He saw television as this incredibly powerful force, a tool that teaches us what to think about, what to be afraid of, and even what we should want out of life. He argued it's not a mirror reflecting society, but a very specific lens that filters it for us. And if you look through that lens long enough, you start to believe that's just reality.
What's really fascinating here is why Gerbner was so obsessed with this. This wasn't just some academic exercise for him. It was deeply personal and anti-totalitarian. He saw TV becoming this new cultural hearth, the modern-day storyteller replacing old myths and scriptures. And he really wanted to understand how this new, powerful storyteller could be used to shape how we think and ultimately how we comply.
So this was his method, his diagnostic machine, if you will. It had three parts. First, he looked at the institutions. Who's making the stuff and what's their goal? Second, he dug into the messages themselves. What are the patterns? What themes do you see again and again and again? And finally, he studied the effects. How does all that repetition actually start to mold our beliefs about the real world?
Okay, so here's the most crucial part of this whole theory. This isn't about a single news story or one TV show changing your mind overnight. Gerbner's whole idea is about the slow, steady, cumulative effect. It's like a gradual rewiring of how we see everything.
I absolutely love this phrase from the source material, a drip irrigation of belief. It's perfect, right? It's not a fire hose of propaganda trying to convince you of something. It's a slow, steady drip, drip, drip of messages that over years carves a deep channel in your worldview. And he found this effect was strongest in what he called heavy viewers, basically anyone watching more than 4 hours a day.
And this happens in two main ways. First, there's mainstreaming. This is when watching a lot of TV starts to blur all our unique differences, our politics, our class, and pulls us all towards this one common TV-shaped way of seeing things. But then there's resonance, and this is when it gets really powerful. This is when a story on screen clicks with something from your own life. If you've been a victim of a crime, seeing crime on the news doesn't just inform you, it amplifies your fear tenfold.
This slide just lays it all out so clearly. On the left, you've got TV land, a world of constant danger, easy-to-spot heroes and villains, and problems that get solved in under an hour. And on the right, well, that's the real world. Crime rates are often way lower than we think, situations are messy and complicated, and justice is slow. Cultivation theory is all about how the world on the left slowly becomes our mental map for trying to navigate the world on the right.
So let's see how this actually plays out in the real world, especially when we talk about the news. Because this is where the ethics of how these stories are produced really come into sharp focus.
Listen to this quote from actor Sonakshi Sinha. She absolutely nails it. She says the news has stopped trying to inform us and has started performing panic. It's become a kind of theater of fear designed specifically to get a gut reaction out of you, not to make you think.
And here is a perfect example of that. Look at this. The news isn't just presented anymore. It's often framed as an attack, an accusation, a call to arms. A headline like this isn't designed to give you information. It's designed to make you feel angry, afraid, and helpless. Let's break down exactly how it does that.
What you're looking at here is basically narrative weaponization. The fonts are practically screaming at you. The colors, red, yellow, black, are all borrowed from emergency alerts. You've got this chaotic mix of images designed to make you feel overwhelmed. It all works together to create this feeling of an urgent crisis. This isn't journalism. This is the deliberate engineering of outrage. It's the mean world on full display.
And hey, this isn't just about the news. This kind of emotional scripting happens everywhere. Think about TV soaps, which so often rely on narratives of gendered violence, cultivating really outdated patriarchal values. Or look at reality TV. It constantly sells us these rags-to-riches myths, cultivating the idea that success is just about getting famous, completely ignoring all the real structural reasons that's not true for most people. Every genre has its own script.
But, okay, is it really that simple? Are we all just passive sponges, just soaking this stuff up without a second thought? Well, critics of cultivation theory would say it's a bit more complicated than that.
So on one side, you've got Gerbner's model, which does kind of assume the viewer is pretty passive. But on the other side, you have thinkers like Stuart Hall, who came along and said, hold on a minute. Hall argued that we are active decoders. We're not blank slates. We push back, we interpret, we negotiate, and sometimes we flat out reject the messages we're being fed, all based on our own lives and beliefs.
Which brings us right up to today. I mean, we're not living in the world of 3 TV channels anymore. We live in this vast universe of personalized, algorithmic content. So does a theory from the 1970s even hold up?
The answer is a resounding yes. You could actually argue Gerbner's theory is more relevant now than it has ever been. Cultivation didn't disappear. It just got a massive tech upgrade. It's been automated.
Just think about it for a second. That feeling you get when you're endlessly scrolling through bad news, what we call doom scrolling. That's a perfect mechanism for cultivating dread and fear. YouTube's autoplay can quietly walk you down an ideological rabbit hole before you even realize what's happening. Instagram's filters are literally cultivating impossible myths about what beauty is. That drip, drip, drip of belief, it's now a personalized feed delivered right to the palm of your hand.
So that leaves us with this one really important question. If old-school television was the ritual storyteller for an entire society, then who, or maybe what, is the storyteller in your pocket? Who is writing the script for your reality today? Thinking about this isn't about throwing your phone away or quitting media. It's just about becoming a more conscious, more critical consumer of the stories that are constantly shaping our world.